violence is out there and it's aimed at you because of what you believe. If we follow history and we understand, like I said in a previous video, that we are not immune to history, this does not bode well. Hey everybody, welcome back to Grumpy Acres. Okay, if you came here for a homesteading video, this isn't one of them. It does pertain to homesteading because it pertains to our search for freedom and living the type of life that we want to live, but it goes about it in a different way that you may not be used to. The cultural Marxists are trying to force a tyranny upon us that we haven't seen in America since the time of King George, before the founding of the country. And the ideology is straight out of Maoist China and Soviet Russia. Now, what is that tyranny, and how does it affect us? The tyranny is trying to force us to believe that somebody's subjective reality is our objective reality. And when I say that, what I mean is somebody feels something, they feel a certain way, and I'm not just talking about one small fraction of the country. I'm talking a large swath of the people that are the driving power behind the woke movement. But they feel a certain way, and that becomes their subjective reality, because feelings aren't based in facts. Feelings are based on emotions, and emotions are subjective things. But their subjective reality, they feel, should be our objective reality. And not only should it be our objective reality when they're in our presence, they feel that it should be our objective reality when they're not in our presence. And I don't have a problem with anybody wanting to be called something a certain way. Now, I may not do it because it flies in the face of convention or proper English or science, but that's fine. They can want that as much as they want, and they don't have the right to claim that I'm transgressing against them simply because I refuse to adhere to their subjective reality. And if you're one of those people like, hey, if they want to be called that, I'll call them that. More power to you. I don't have a problem with that. Just don't expect me to follow along. So, how does this affect us in the long run? Well, what this does is it sets up the pretext that they can come up with anything they want, and they can call it the facts, based solely on emotions. And we have to adhere to it. And if we don't adhere to it, then they feel that they have the right to punish us. And it manifested itself recently in something that really bothered me. So in response to the Nashville shooting, where a mentally ill person who was under the care of a doctor went in, killed some children and some teachers, the response from the community that person came from was a day of vengeance. Now think about that. In response to that person killing some innocent children and some adults, this community called for a day of vengeance. And vengeance, if you look it up, is defined as punishment for a crime or transgression. And that transgression is not accepting their subjective reality. And that's just the ultimate culmination of what's been going on for several years. The seeds of it were planted 50, 60 years ago, but it's really started to grow and take root finally in the last 4 or 5 years. We saw it in the fact that the media pundits applauded the fiery but mostly peaceful demonstrations. We have people in political office now that were advocating and applauding the people that were burning down neighborhoods. We see it in political people being violently attacked and attempted murder, and political opponents being shot dead in the streets, like up in Portland when a Trump supporter was shot because he was a Trump supporter, plain and simple. Now, if anybody on the right tried doing something like that, there would be hell to pay, literally. They would, the leftists and Marxists in this country would be so up in arms that they would be rioting and causing all kinds of destruction. And they're out there, they're arming themselves, and if they cannot get to us legally or through the culture, they're going to come after us physically, and they have proven that point time and time again. Now, I am not calling for anything violent, I'm not calling for anything illegal, and I'm not calling for anything unethical. But what I'm telling you is the ante has been upped, and they made it public, and even though nothing came of it, there were media people that applauded it, there were media outlets that reported it and did not say boo about the day of vengeance. If we follow history and we understand, like I said in a previous video, that we are not immune to history, this does not bode well. And as patriots or conservatives or homesteaders or whatever you want to call yourselves that don't adhere to the leftist ideology, we need to get ready. You need to get ready physically. That means thinking about your security and thinking about your health. You need to get ready mentally. That means that you have to cognitively understand that violence is out there and it's aimed at you because of what you believe. And you need to get ready. It's basically in your daily life. Go build community, control your food source, do all the things that we're constantly talking about here. Now, before I go, I want to hear from you. I want this conversation to take place because we're entering territory that quite frankly I don't think we have. It's uncharted, if you want to know the truth. In my book, it's uncharted. We're reaching a point with our culture and our society and our politics and our place in the world and our faith that is really uncharted as a whole. All right, like I said, go ahead and give a comment. Thanks for watching the video. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and think about subscribing. Hit the thumbs up. Hit that notification bell so you know when we got more videos coming out. And I'll try to preface them with a warning. If you're looking for a certain type of content here on Grumpy Acres, then I will preface it so that you know that this video may not be something that you want to watch. All right? Until next time, keep this stuff in mind and go out and pursue a life done free. Okay? Take care.
Thanks, Milo.